Okay, magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat at welcome na naman sa isang episode ng Tech Sabado. Very special tong episode namin ngayong gabi at siguradong ikatutuwa ninyo. Kami nga natuwa kasi baka nga ito is magkaroon ng malaking impact sa ating election process. Pero bago yan, magandang gabi ulit sa inyo muna. Jing Garcia po at saka ng TechSabado.com and of course the Manila Times. Papakilala ko na yung ating regular host dito sa Tech Sabado. Every Saturday, 8 to 9 p.m. sa YouTube and Facebook. Siyempre, unahin na natin ang Executive Editor ng Newsbytes.ph. Walang iba kundi si Atty.
Melvin Calimag po, magandang gabi sa ating lahat and of course sa mga kasama natin dito. Nandito po ulit tayo sa GESCOM sa Sonolox Building ng Ateneo de Manila University. At of course, kasama pa rin natin ang ating collaborator na Limang Siglo led by our friend, good friend, J.R. Contreras and his angels. Okay.
And of course, ang kasama rin natin dito tuwing Saturday, ang tito ng San Pablo, Laguna, walang iba kung hindi si...
Magandang gabi po, Raymund Tribdino, Tito Tribs ng The Manila Times, Tech Sabado at ng cleantechnica.com.
Oo, tito. Ano na ako kanina, no, na this is a special episode.
Oh yes, very special.
Agree ka ba doon sa sinabi ko?
Very special episode.
Wow. Yes, so pag-usapan na po natin at baka nga magkaroon to ng magandang impact sa ating election process.
Correct. So, i-introduce ko na,
Yes.
Tito Jing, introduce ko na. Beside me, isa pang OG, kasi meron tayong
Yes.
GOAT, meron tayong OG. So, meron tayong OG, si Eliseo Rio Jr. Natawag natin ho siyang General Rio, who is... he was part of the Philippine Air Force, tapos isa ho siyang electronics engineer, naging DICT secretary natin siya from 2019 to 2020. At, feather in his cap, siya ho ang primary architect ng third telco sa ating bansa. So, alam na natin sino yung telco na yon. Naging advocate po siya, strong advocate siya para sa connectivity, internet speed, maging inclusive ang paggamit ng Wi-Fi sa buong bansa, transparency sa election, at that's why itong usapan ho natin, dyan natin i-focus doon sa election. Kasi si Sir Eliseo naging part po ng isang grupo na tinatawag na TN Trio. Wow! And they were advocating clean and honest elections, fast and correct, accurate election returns. So, nandyan pa rin po yung kanyang advocacy. Naging bahagi din ho siya ng smart communications noon at naging bahagi siya ng malawakang network planning at modernization doon sa kumpanya ngayon.
General mo sabihin, naging NTC commissioner siya.
Ay, oo nga pala.
Doon ko first na kita siya nakasalamuha si General Rio.
Sa NTC.
NTC during the time of
GMA.
GMA.
Okay. Correct. So, electronics engineer at marami pong salamat, General, at nakasama namin kayo.
Welcome po, General, sa aming programa.
Maraming salamat.
Thank you.
At sa pag-imbita nyo sa akin para makapag-discuss nitong isang what we consider a very important issue because we all know that election ay ito yung haligi ng ating demokrasya.
Yes, of
Correct.
course.
Saan tayo magsisimula? Doon tayo magsisimula, I think. Ang magandang simula, kanina kausap ko si General, doon sa ginawa ng Team Trio to question, legitimately question, and because that's the advocacy of Tech Sabado, is always to push for truth and transparency. Yung nangyari, yung naging resulta.
Naging experience natin.
Naging experience po ninyo. Doon sa
election.
Well, yung TN Trio ay nabuo after the 2022 national and local election. Nagsama-sama kami ni Gas Lagman at ni Franklin Isaac. Nag-compare notes at nakita namin na mayroon talagang mga irregularities na nangyari doon. So we pursued further nung nilabas yung mga raw files ng COMELEC and that is because of their transparency, no? And we congratulate them for that. Pero doon lumabas ng mga konting anomalya na tinuro namin din sa kanila. For example, yung bakit 20,300 na VCM has the same IP address, no?
Okay.
Usually, since inadmit naman ng COMELEC that they have been using a private network for the whole election, there are around 17 million IP address na private that can be used. Bakit kailangan sila ipon, no? Na
isa lang.
pwede yon kung public, no?
correct.
Kasi kinukulang tayo sa public IP address. Pero ito private So,
Ano po impact nun? Gano'n po ka-importante yung
Well,
isa lang yung IP
ang-
address na ginamit?
in-explain naman ng COMELEC ang impact kasi ay may isang kasi IP address yan yung address ng isang equipment.
Equipment, yes.
No? Ibig sabihin, isang equipment, isang IP address. So kung sinabi mo ay ito ay galing sa IP address na isa ito, ibig sabihin
Doon lang galing.
galing sa isang equipment yan. So
Okay.
ibig sabihin 20,300 na presinto sinalo nitong
Isang machine.
machine na ito. Ang explanation naman ng COMELEC na kailangan pa namin suriin ng mabuti is that ito daw ay galing sa modem. May
Okay.
may 20,300 na mga modem silang binili to replace yung hindi na yung modem yun ang nagtatransmit ng
yes.
results, no? At ito raw modem ang na-assign sa kanya ay itong private
Isang-
IP address na ito.
IP address.
And sinabi pa nila, it is because isa lang ang telco na in charge nitong mga modems na ito, and Globe ang Philippine. Pero yung lumabas yung mga transmission logs ng Globe, and kahit na yung Smart, walang 192 doon sa kanilang tinransmit. So, ibig sabihin, hindi klaro yung explanation nila. Tapos yun, wala na silang kinakanan. They just left it at that, no? Yun ang number one kwan kasi bawal yun sa election law. Dapat from the precinct, ang transmission diretso sa mga municipal servers,
Correct.
sa transparency server at sa central server, no? Noong 2022, tatlong server yan. Tatlong transmission, each VCM all over the country, no? Hindi pwedeng may sasalo na isang makina at doon ito ang magta-transmit nitong ano. Kasi bakit pa kailangan to? So that's one no? But anyway, ang kwan talaga niyan is the only way to prove that is to actually count the ballots, compare it to the transmitted. Ano, yun ang aming challenge sa COMELEC.
Manually count the ballots.
Magpili kami ng ballots that we will manually count in front of the public, compare it with the transmission.
Okay.
No? Pumayag ang COMELEC.
Oh, okay.
In fairness din kay Chairman George Garcia, siya nagsabi, sige, bago siyang chairman noon hindi siya yung chairman noong 2022. So, sige, pili kayo ng kwan. So, pinili namin yung sa Santo Tomas, Batangas, so para lang to make it short, no, and not so much expensive dahil COMELEC ang gagasto Isang lugar lang, we will choose siguro mga isang 20 to 30. Pero ang pipiliin namin doon, lahat ng nagpadala using 192.
Okay, so that number.
Kasi ang Santo Tomas, I think 85% of doon sa munisipyo na yon, Santo Tomas, Batangas, were sent 84-85% were sent by that single IP address.
Okay.
You know, sa Metro Manila, there are 10,400 plus precincts in Metro Manila. 98.2% ang itong IP address lang, no? So, well, anyway, kinakuha lang namin. Pero kinakuha namin, in fact, ang NAMFREL also proposed to COMELEC na bilangin natin itong mga galing sa 192. Pero hindi rin pinansin ng COMELEC. And then, yung aming request, yung nalaman nila na itong pinili naming mga presinto na bibilangin, kinuha na nila. Nag-back off sila.
Okay.
Well, ang kanila, pumunta nga kami sa Supreme Court para pilitin ng COMELEC to pursue or to perform yung kanilang in-bank resolution, no? Allowing us. Sabi ng Supreme Court, wala tayong magawa dyan dahil COMELEC is a constitutional, this is under their authority, and pero may sinabi rin ang Supreme Court na pero COMELEC is guilty by official inaction. Naggawa na kayo ng in-bank na payagan sila, hindi nyo inaksyonan. In other words, well, anyway, that's all water under the bridge, no? And well, siguro yung isang accomplishment ng PN Trio ay natanggal natin ang Smartmatic.
Okay.
Okay.
Pero pinalitan ng Miro, no? Well, but anyway, yung aming kwan ngayon is okay na, wala nang basta siguraduhin lang natin that these things will not happen again.
Correct.
In future elections, no? So nagkuha na kami na si Gaslagman and NAMFREL as a whole are for the hybrid election system.
Okay.
Manual counting sa presinto in front of the poll watchers, the public. At nakasaad yun sa automated election law, no? Section 31 of 369, nakasaad doon that after the closing of the voting, the chairman of the electoral board kukunin yung mga balota in front of the poll watchers and the general public that can be accommodated at isa-isa bilangin. Well, in kanya, must be read by the chairman, and the two other members will be having a tally sheet, no? So yung old TARA system natin yon. Kaya lang, of course, yung automated, parang that defeats the purpose of automation. Kung babalik tayo sa ganyan, takes days, no? Bago makakuha yun. So nagkuhan kami na how to come up with a system that is still transparent during counting. Kasi ang number one problem natin with Smartmatic, at kaya nga nagkaroon tayo ng Section 31 sa law, is dumidepende tayo 100% sa bilang ng makina.
Correct.
Hindi natin alam
Kung
kung
tama
ano
or
yan, kung
accurate,
tama o mali. And nagkakaroon na ng kaso rin na mali ang makina. No? Pero is this only for this machine or for more machines? Yan ang hindi natin alam.
Okay.
So anyway, yun ang naging advocacy ni Gaslagman. Siya nga ang author nitong hybrid election, no? Na ang kwa naman doon, of course, is ang objection, pati yata yung citizens, tayong normal citizens, ang objection din natin is ang tagal ng manual counting. So nag-isip kami ng isang manual counting that is computer aided para mas mabilis, no? In other words, ngayon, di na tayo kailangan magbasa yung word for word ng isang kwan. Pwede natin i-scan sa computer, makakakuha na tayo ng summary. Di ba?
Okay.
So, yun ang naisip namin na pwedeng gawin. And ito nga, because of that, nakakuha kami ng mga IT. headed by Ed Millena, no? And they came up with this device na una, it will use off-the-shelf items.
Okay.
Hindi katulad Smartmatic, kailangan bilhin mo lang itong Smartmatic sa isang kumpanya.
Yung makina lang nila.
Oo,
yes.
kung anong kan, pati yung software, no? Ito, you can buy the hardware anywhere, and the software, you can have it bidded out. Parang ganyan, no? And, yun nga, pinalabas din natin na yung cost, kailangan mo lang isang laptop, isang document scanner, at isang thermal printer, no, na mabili mo anywhere in the Philippines, no? Pwede mo nga mabili online, eh. And the total cost, i-demonstrate mamaya, nung tatlong equipment na yon is only around 37,400, no?
Compared to?
We bought Smartmatic 2010 at 150,000 pesos per machine.
Per machine, how many machines?
1,000, mga 98 yata yung first, pero nagdagdag hanggang maabot na ng 110,000 machines na kailangan, no?
Okay.
Nalagdag pala.
So ang ginawa natin is para hindi ganong magasto in succeeding election, ni-refurbish yung second hand, no? And the second hand is cost around 76,000. I know this
Mahal
because when I was with the acting secretary of the DICT, ako yung chairman ng COMELEC Advisory Council, no? Na who is monitoring all these things. And yung Miro, hindi natin binili yon, inarkila natin at around 74,000 per machine, rented, no, to be used for that 2025 election. And after that, wala na.
Discarded na yung mga machines. Nobody can use it anymore.
Sinole.
Sinole.
Okay.
Inupahan
Pero
natin.
yung Smartmatic, nagamit pa natin yan in succeeding election up to the third election. No? After that, hindi na magamit. Kailangan i-refurbish na yan. So, ang refurbishing cost is about one-half of 150,000.
Okay.
So, ganyan ang kwan. No? So, very expensive and ang kwan. So, and in fact, also, ang Smartmatic and Miro, after the election, walang gamit talaga. We have to store it, yung Smartmatic, in a warehouse. Aircon pa yata yon.
And you have to pay for it pa.
And we are paying a monthly warehouse fee of about more than 1 million pesos.
Ibig sabihin nun yung machine, nakatenga lang, walang ibang gamit yan, kundi for election, election lang, for the next election.
Yun ang
Na
mga
pwedeng by the next election, obsolete na siya. Pwedeng gano'n, di ba?
Pwedeng gano'n.
Oo.
In fact, kailangan i-refurbish na
Yes,
almost 20% of that hindi mo na magamit. Kung nagamit
okay.
last election, you have to refurbish it
Yes.
at the cost of one-half of the yung binili mo na brand new. Pero itong hybrid, isang laptop, isang scanner, isang printer, yun na. Brand new cost is mga 37,000, no? And magamit pa na eskwela after the election.
Oh, okay. So after the election, those machines, the 3 machines, can be donated na to the school or that school kung saan ginamit yung selection. So they can use that for any other purpose.
Yes.
Ilan ho ang kailangan nating hybrid machines? Kung gagamitin ho natin sa November, tama? Ang barangay elections, di ba?
Yes.
Idea natin.
Actually, isa lang kailangan mo isang set, no?
Isang set per barangay.
Per precinct.
Per
no?
precinct.
Oo.
Okay.
Oo, kasi ang barangay can have more than one precinct. Eh.
Okay.
But ang kwan namin is since ma-afford mo na, you can have 2.
Okay.
So parang you are actually shortening the queue, di ba? Kung may ATM ka lang na isa, ang haba ng queue. Pero kung may 2 ATM ka, pwede magkakwan.
Okay.
So you can in fact lessen the election period by 1/2.
Okay.
So why is it called hybrid?
Yes.
Okay, yun nga. it's called hybrid because to differentiate it from the fully automated, no? As a fully automated, the machine is the one counting it, and and it is being transmitted also electronically.
Okay.
Sa hybrid, the votes will be counted manually, katulad ng ginagawa natin noon. Na each ballot will be read, may magtatara, no? Yung ginagawa natin noon. And in fact, that is nasa 31 yan, section 31 ng batas, no? But of course, nakita natin, no? Nakita ng COMELEC na it will negate the purpose of having automation kung manual counting pa rin. So we trust the machine to count it. We check the software of the machine, no? Na ganyan. Pero hindi mo pa rin makuha sa akuan mo na pwedeng manipulahin pa rin yung machine, no? Especially by insiders.
Okay.
So yun ang...
So in this setup, sir, yung counting of the ballots
will be done
manually.
Manually.
Except that it will be aided by the computer. Instead na babasahin yung pangalan for president, parang babasahin yung pangalan, maybe you have to say it twice so that ikapan yun.
Hindi not that manual, hindi ganung manual.
Hindi manual. You put it again, yung ginawa natin, yung gagawin natin sa demonstration, you put it again in the scanner, the machine will read it, and i-record na kung ano yung naboto doon, no? And the teacher has only to read the number. Hindi yung full name. President,
okay.
24.
Okay.
24, then ganyan lang, no?
Okay.
Di, tapos na. Kung 12 senators, 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, hanggang naka-12. Okay. Yun lang. Makikita niya naman ng mga tao na lumalabas yung numbers na yon. Na at all candidates, sa senatorial candidates, lahat yung mga numbers na nandun sa ballot na yon are all added one vote.
Okay.
Nakikita yon sa big screen.
So, would that slow down the process?
Well, it will be slower than full automation. But yun nga, nakita nyo na it takes only around mga 10 to 12 seconds, no, to count.
So,
if you count that manually, it will take you 2 minutes eh.
Okay.
Ang laban lang kasi sa election parati, it's either speed versus accuracy. You know? So mamaya pag-usapan pa natin yung, yung hybrid election system pagbabalik po ng Tech Sabado. Standby lang muna. Okay, we're back dito sa Tech Sabado and we're still with General Rio talking about the new hybrid election system na pwede natin gamitin sa mga next elections natin. Bago tayo nag-break, sabi ko nga, ang labanan dito is speed versus accuracy. Sometimes we want speed para ma-lessen yung yung kalokohan, yung para yan yung gusto natin, kailangan mabilis ang transmission. Pero yun na nga lang, pagdating naman sa pag mabilis naman sobra, nagkakaroon naman ng inaccuracies. Kaya doon naman tayo nagkakaproblema. Accurate ba yung transmit? Accurate ba yung binasa ng machine? So, yan ang gusto natin i-minimize sana sa mga next elections natin. Para hindi na rin questionin kung paano talaga nanalo ang isang kandidato. Kasi yun na pa ating questions no?
Correct.
Tuwing election na lang, walang talo pag election sa Pilipinas, di ba? Walang talo, lahat panalo.
Walang tatalo. Gamitin ko to, Tito Jing. I'll use this document. Doon sa sinabi kanina ni General Rio, doon sa usapan kasi nung manual. I just want to clarify to the audience that the system quote-unquote is manual. Pero actually, because of meron ho kasing presentation dito na mamaya papakita ho namin. May presentation dito na may proseso na yung dokumento isa-scan, papasok sa machine, tapos maglalabas ng resibo. Diba? So, we'll have to count how many minutes that will happen later. But I think, my understanding po is that after we do this, all of the results will be collected, and then at the end of that, tama po ba? Ita-transmit na yon yung nakolekta, tapos magkakaroon ng audit after by the chairman ho ba ang tawag dun sa precinct?
Well, that is not decided upon yet, no?
Okay.
Talagang COMELEC ang mag-decide
Okay.
yan, no? Well, kung ang COMELEC gusto nila na pagtapos ng counting, pagtapos ng voting, everybody has voted, nag-close na yung voting period, ay mag-print ng ER na.
Okay. Election
No?
return.
Return.
AR.
So, itatrust mo na lang yung makina na ang makina actually nagbibilang no? And i-trust mo na lang na
Tama siya.
tama yung
Okay.
bilang niya.
Okay.
Okay? So yun ang dito naman sa hybrid, that same process can be done, no? In other words, pag close na yung nasa computer na, sa memory ng computer na yung resulta.
Okay.
Hindi lang pinapalabas pa,
Okay.
no? Ika-count muna,
Okay.
and then pero may
Hindi pa natatransmit yun, sir.
well, hindi pa, pero may recommendation ang NAMFREL, no, through J.R. Contreras, na sige, i-print mo na, then i-transmit ang kanya doon unofficial transmission, no, just to make it safe. Kasi pag habang hindi pa yan na i-transmit, baka
mangyari,
Oo. And then, manually count it.
Okay.
And that count again, print the result. Compare mo yung dalawa,
Yes.
dapat tutugma.
Correct.
So,
Tama,
mas
yes.
mataas yung confidence mo na tama ang
Accurate
resulta
yung
ng
resulta.
makina
Okay.
dahil binilang mo manually.
Okay.
That can be done, no? That can be done.
Who will approve it? Who will,
course, COMELEC.
The COMELEC will say that's good to do.
Yes, of course. Ang kwan lang ng COMELEC kasi they are really for full automation.
Okay.
Kasi after that, wala nang gagawin ng mga teachers eh. Pag na-transmit na, pack up na sila. Pero if we can show COMELEC and the teacher, no, na since we can put two machines together, in the last automated election that took us, nag-umpisa pa yata ng 6 no, for senior citizen, and natapos ng 7. That's about 13 hours. Kasi isa lang ang machine doon sa clustered precinct na yun. But because we can afford it, we can put two equipment ng hybrid. So you can actually shorten the voting
By half.
hours by
half.
siguro
Oo.
alas 3 tapos
Correct.
na.
Opo.
So from 3 to 5, you need about 2 hours to have a computer-aided counting na
Correct.
nakikita
Opo. Nakikita ng mga
ng
poll
mga
watchers.
voters
tsaka
yung
poll
paano
voters.
yung i-demonstrate
Opo,
mamaya yun, no? So in effect, even with because you can put more machines, again, I like to say na kung may dalawang ATM ka, mas makat mo yung queue,
Correct.
no? And you have also time for counting and still be able to transmit both
Correct.
machine count and manually count before 7 p.m. That can be that is possible.
Actually, Tito Jing, I'm just basing it on a crazy budget in my mind. If you pay 150,000 for the Smartmatic and 37 here, you can get 3 or 4 machines to run in the barangay, cut it more, and then you have more computers to give away to the school.
Ganun na
Hindi
nga.
masasayang.
Walang talo.
Pero sir, yung
Walang
mga
talo.
ano niya, mga machines niya, like sabi niyo nga from the shelves, pwede makabili niyan. Do they have to be the same brands? Kasi di ba
No.
may issue tayo ng compatibility. Kunwari, iba yung scanner na bili ng Luzon kesa doon sa nabili sa Cebu.
No. You'll notice that iba-ibang brand yung mga computer natin. No? But
yes.
if you buy Words, for example, ng Microsoft,
It's the same.
it will
Run.
work, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
okay. So, ang specifications lang po ang dapat medyo
Sundan,
Of course,
magpareho.
may kwan na, wag naman yung very,
Wag naman
very
yung
low end.
Celeron.
Kasi hindi rin magagamit ng school. No?
Oo.
Sir, what about the software? Kasi sabi niyo kanina,
And the operating system.
operating
Operating
beat.
system.
So, pero ito, yung software na mamaya na i-demo natin. Ano siya, parang very specialized.
Tama ba yun?
Specifically for elections, di ba?
Yes.
So,
oo.
Sino pa nag-ano to? Sino nag-develop and then...
Well, yun nga, itong prototype was developed by the company of Ed Miliana, no?
Okay.
And, but, hindi pwedeng, pag may bidding, everybody can participate.
Okay.
Basta may specification ng COMELEC na ito dapat ang gagawin ng
Ng
software.
Okay.
So, kung yan, may mga paraan na ang COMELEC magpili kung sinong mananalo, no? And that software, may business model, you really don't have to buy it. As, for example, parang, kasi, in other words, the company can even just have it parang franchise or something like that for single use lang during that election.
Okay.
Kasi every election, nagbabago yung software, even Smartmatic.
Hmm.
Bakit? Every year, nagbabago yung pangalan ng mga kandidato. You cannot use exactly the software that you
Naka-hard code doon.
Yes, because iba na ang pangalan.
Tama.
No? Iba na ang mga pangalan ng kandidato and their placement, you have to reprogram the placement.
Correct.
No?
Hindi kaya, sir, vulnerable, susceptible to hacking and security issues.
Cybersecurity. in terms of
Yung kwan nga,
cybersecurity.
sa kwan ang COMELEC is that may software program review, no?
Yep.
By a very competent company, but they have to pay for that. Ito, the software can be open source. When we say open source, anybody can look at it and actually tinker with it in their own computer.
To check for vulnerabilities. And
Yes,
all
they
that.
can do that. Oo. So you don't have to pay a very expensive software review if it's an open source no? But of course, that is really up for COMELEC to decide, no?
But do we have enough software election
Developer?
systems now na doon?
Magagaling ang mga Philippine software developer But of course, COMELEC can also allow mga foreign software developer to come in, no? Depending talaga sa ang competition will depend really on yung effectiveness ng software and its cost, no?
Okay.
Pero I assure you, the Filipinos sa Silicon Valley, mga halos lahat ng doon programmer are
Correct.
Filipino.
Correct. But do we have time? If we intend
In
to...
fact, we are ready for the barangay election. If COMELEC will approve that we are ready. In fact, we are ready for the barangay election.
What about the training process ng mga gagamit na teachers for that? How easy it will be for them to use the new system?
Actually, may voice prompt na ang magtuturo sa mga voters yung computer mismo.
Tumingin sa screen at suriin ang iyong mga napiling kandidato. Pindutin ang berde para kumpirmahin. Pindut kung mayroong kasunod na pahina, isunod o baliktarin ang inyong balota. Pindutin ang berde upang kumpirmahin at i-print ang iyong resibo.
And sanay na rin ang teacher sa yung sinisidan ang balota, which we are using also. No?
Pero di ba, sir, may panibagong training yan sa mga
Of course,
users.
mayroon.
Oo.
Sa pilot naman, hindi mo naman lahat na presinto ikakanyan eh. For
Okay.
example, in the 2023 barangay election, COMELEC piloted the Smartmatic sa barangay election.
Okay.
I think may mga precincts sa Antipolo and things like that. Kasi ang barangay election is fully manual, no?
Okay, true.
Hindi automated ang barangay election eh. And it takes siguro mga 5 hours to count yung ilang pangalan lang yun, no?
Oh, kasi konti lang eh. Unlike mga national election eh, talagang
Oo.
marami.
Pero when they use Smartmatic of course, pagtapos ng voting, may resulta ka agad, no? Pero may nagkaroon yata ng problema na hindi in-accept ng mga gusto nila ibilangin ulit. So parang
Hindi in-accept ng mga botante.
yes,
yung
something
resulta.
like that. So because siguro kaya nga dito makikita ng botante kung paano binibilang,
Tsaka mas,
no?
okay. Mas transparent.
Yes, mas
At least yung optics nung botante mas transparent kasi pagka based on this description, pag shade nila, makikita din nila.
Yes.
'Di ba?
Kunyari, hindi nila nasida ng mabuti, no? Pag sinubo mo yan sa Smartmatic o sa Miro, disregarded na yan. Wala ka na magawa.
Void agad, di ba?
Yeah. Hindi niya binilang.
Tapos uulit ka.
Hindi ka
Hindi
na
na,
makaulit.
wala pwede ulit.
Try ka na.
Wala.
Oo, pero dito makaulit ka. Nakikita niya, bakit nagboto ka rito? Ipindutin mo yung pula, pull it out, then shade it
Okay.
more.
Hindi kasi naka-program yung software na pwede ka umulit doon sa Smartmatic,
Wala,
di ba?
wala
Wala.
talaga.
Kaya void
Pag
lang.
nakapasok
Overvoting, undervoting, spoiled yan. Pag
Makikita
may
natin
bura,
yan
may
mamaya.
wrong markings,
Yeah.
ano yan, no? Talagang void agad yung yung boto mo. Unlike dito, i-demonstrate mamaya, pwede kang umulit, pwede kang mag-erase,
Kasi
pwede mong ayusin lahat yung vote mo.
tama dyan.
Kasi naka-program yung for mistakes, yung
For mistakes, no?
yung OS.
Because napuna namin, no? In fact, when I was the chairman of the COMELEC Advisory Council, I questioned that. Bakit milyon-milyon ang overvotes?
Grabe
Ibig sabihin
nga,
in other words, bibilang ka lang ng 12. No? And then, tinanong ko ito kasi kung may complaint ka, kasi wala ka na magawa eh. May makita mo yung resibo ng resulta ng boto mo sa BVPATs. Bakit ako nag-overvote dito? Well, i-explain sa iyo, 13 yata na kwan. Hindi, 12 lang. Wala ka hindi mo na maakuan yun, no? Kasi ang machine na ang
Decide for you.
na overvote ka. Pero, okay yung pero kung kukunti lang kasi magrereklamo ka, then nilalagyan, no? Nilalagyan. So, tinanong ko, sa itong, when I was dun sa 2019 midterm election, when I was the chairman, mga 1.4 million overvotes. Ibig sabihin 1.4 million voters na voted more than 12, no? So tinanong ko, ilan ang nagreklamo? Ang sagot sa logs nila, wala pa 100.
Okay.
So ibig sabihin 1 million, nakita nag-overvote sila,
Wala lang.
binayaan na yan. Mukhang
Ang daming na
impossible.
disenfranchise.
Oo, actually.
Yeah, they were disfranchised. And the machine was the one who judged.
Made the judgment.
Talagang kundi na prosecutor at lahat, no?
So dapat talaga may room for correction,
Yes.
mechanism for may di ba?
Dapat, pero wala yan wala yan sa kwan.
Yun yan, parang sinasabi ni Jen, yung na baka nga hindi nga nag-overvote Yung machine na nag-decide na nag-overvote ka. Mas lalong malala yun, di ba? Baka nga hindi baka nga tama naman. Pero yung machine na nag-decide for you. Okay, babalik po ang Tech Sabado after a few reminders lang. And we're back dito sa Tech Sabado. Hybrid election system pa rin pag-uusapan natin. Maya-maya lang, magkakaroon tayo ng demo kung paano ito gamitin. Pero, Jen, paano nyo naisip na kailangan ordinary hardware lang from the shelf ang natin, gagamit natin dito? Hindi tayo katulad ng ginagamit natin sa proprietary machines na ginagamit ng Smartmatic.
Okay, yung we floated the idea kung may mga Filipino companies na in fact, when I was the acting secretary of the ICT, naggawa kami ng isang tech fair, no? The first tech fair on vote counting machines. Because that time, President Duterte would want to replace, made public, no? Na palitan na natin itong Smartmatic. So, nagkuhan kami ng tech fair and around 12 participants came in and about 5 were Filipinos. No?
That's good.
And lahat ng mga equipment ng Filipinos hindi sila makagawa ng isang vote counting machine na katulad ng ginagawa ng Smartmatic, no? They were using ordinary gumagana naman. So doon kanyang idea na yan na pwede pa lang, you don't really need to come up with a hardware specifically designed just for counting votes. No?
Okay.
You can actually get existing hardware, available, used for other purposes, and software lang kailangan mo talaga. Okay.
So, will you say that, General, will you say that software will be the most important dito sa doon sa hybrid election system niya? Software security, and so on.
Yes, yun ang talagang magpapaandar ng hybrid, no? As far as ang application is election or voting. Kasi yung software ay yun ang mag-i-scan ng ballot and yan ang mag-determine kung sino ang na-shadean. May mga na XY coordinates na nilalagay mo sa software na kung ito ang na-shadean, ito ay para sa itong kandidato na yun. Kaya sinasabi ko, yung software changes every election. No? Yun lang naman ang kailangan sa pagkuhan yan. And in other words, COMELEC can really bid it out. No? Basta ilagay lang nila yung gustong magawa ng software and invite kwan.
So what is our objective now? When we say magpa-pilot tayo or gusto natin mag-pilot sa November, what do we mean exactly? Mamimili tayo ng presinto, pipiliin ng COMELEC?
Yes. COMELEC will choose just like what they did in 2023. They were the one who chose, ito, mag-Smartmatic kayo gamitin yung Smartmatic sa barangay election. It will be something similar to that.
Okay.
But this time, it will be piloting, not a fully completed vote counting machine, but a hybrid.
Correct.
So, yun ang kwan.
Pero kasi applicable po ito for the barangay elections kasi minention nyo nga, the barangay elections is fully manual.
Fully manual, yes.
How do we transition now to, if for example, it works perfect, ang mura, and magkakaroon pa ng mga laptop yung mga eskwela, and so
it's
on.
really up now to COMELEC, no?
Okay.
Na, they have to follow the law.
Will we have to change the law? From
mayroon nagsasabi na mayroon because the law specifies na the system must have been used in a election here or abroad, no? So, walang Filipino system na gumagamit yan. In fact, walang so, yun ang isang disadvantage ng kwan. Kaya lahat ng ating voting automated voting systems are
foreigners,
no? So, kailan tayo umpisa kung hindi
Tama.
Kung
natin?
ganun lang parati,
Yun lang
di ba?
palagi ang kwan eh.
Is the law needed to be amended
Amended?
para to allow that possibility?
Ito nga
Even for this
ito nga ang nakita
upcoming?
ng kasi sinasabi na ito ng COMELEC noon pa, and of course yung Congress, that use it in a barangay election even as a pilot
Para maano na.
is already
Counted na yun. As
parang lusot na siya.
Oo.
Pero of course, COMELEC will have the last say.
Okay.
Sir, question. Kung kasi maraming components yung hybrid election system na sinasabi ninyo eh. Yung kung iba-iba yung brands, iba-iba yung pati even the software, the hardware, the printer, parang wala tayong single entity na pwedeng i-blame mo. Kung na pwede mag-train how to use it. Kasi, kunyari, baka meron pang mga teachers na hindi familiar dun sa scanner, sa computer. So, iba-iba. Unlike, for example, let's say yung itong si Miro and Smartmatic, isa lang. Lahat. So, how will that be remedied parang if ever?
Well, if you have used PowerPoint, you know how to connect yung kan to the kan, no? Kan lang yun eh. Of course, it will need some kind of training, but itong equipment ito already being used in schools. Pag nagkakaroon ng PowerPoint presentation, they are using laptop, tapos nakakabit sa isang projector o sa isang TV screen, o nakakabit sa printer, no? Everybody knows how to put in a printer in their computer. So, hindi ganong problematic yan.
May voice prompt pa.
Or yung pagkabit ng camera. Because yung scanner is simply a camera eh. No?
USB lang lahat, di ba, sir? USB lang.
So, madali na, plug and play na lahat ito
Yes,
eh.
yung tama, plug and
Siguro
play.
baka kailangan mag-deploy yung COMELEC ng at least one personal technician in every precinct para lang just to
Of
help
course,
out.
they are doing it also with Smartmatic.
Oo,
no?
yes. Meron naman talagang technical person pa ating tatakbuhan sila.
Kasi kahit na isang makina yan, marami kang pipindutin eh, na buttons. Ito, isang button lang eh.
But how positive or are you that you can have
You can
this
pilot,
piloted
Well, ito nga, we are, with the congressional resolution, siyempre, i-consider ng COMELEC yun. And they have to study it, no? At kailangan sagutin nila kung bakit hindi. So,
Yes.
Okay.
bakit hindi magamit yan sa November when in fact, may ready na pwedeng i-pilot, no?
Yes.
Nasa kanila na ang muna.
Pero COMELEC pa rin ang may kwan yan.
Okay.
So, hindi kayo maging deal breaker yung sort of manual counting sa transmission ng and then transmission ng votes.
Vote counts. Pero yun lang hinaharap ng iba, di ba? Para for accuracy, di ba? Kasi after after the last election, medyo na-overwhelm yung tao sa speed. Sobra naman sila sa speed. So now everyone's clamoring for accuracy, di ba?
Yes, accuracy. Dahil may mga protesta na found out na talagang nagkamali
May
ang
problema.
DCM, no?
May problema.
Isolated case, sabi ng COMELEC, these are isolated case, but there are cases. No? So, anyway, ang kwan dyan is, if we follow the automated election law, sinasabi kasi ng COMELEC, it refers daw to a fully automated election system. No? Pero bakit nandun yung Section 31?
Which is?
Which is actually for the teacher to count, to read the ballots during counting. Ang heading niyan, Section 31, and the manner in counting votes.
The manner in counting votes.
So manual, in other words, yung automated election,
Nandun pa rin.
kinakuan pa rin na dapat a human will also
May value talaga.
will kwan the automated election.
Nandun pa rin
Pero
component
yun,
na yun.
of course, may kwan din ang COMELEC na, and they decided na the random manual audit is satisfies that section, no?
Requirement.
Pero ngayon, there is now a petition, a mandamus petition in Supreme Court, no? Filed by those PDP laban Senator Sulos na hindi sinunod yung Section 31 and therefore kailangan i-manual count yan because hindi kami niniwala na natalo kami. Yun ang kanila, no?
Oo.
Kaso sir, magiging moot na yun. The election is upcoming.
Midterms na tayo.
Pero ang kwa natin, because a similar case happened, no? Ang COMELEC before did not follow the election law dito sa VVPATs, no? Itong verifiable voters paper trail kwan. Dahil it will take time. Yan din ang rason nila. Dinala ng citizen, I think, sa Supreme Court, nasa batas yan, you have to follow that. Nagkuhan ang decide ang Supreme Court that it has to be followed. Nag-scramble ngayon ang COMELEC. Tinanong kagad Smartmatic, can you put a printer?
Okay.
Nakahabol. That can happen this time din because kung interpretin ng Supreme Court na you really have to follow Section 31 where the teacher will after voting will manually count the ballot, no? Nakalagay doon yung may tally board pa nga and everything. Okay. So yun ang isa, because if they do that, babalik tayo talaga sa manual counting kung walang there is no Miro and Smartmatic does not have that na pwedeng after na
Correct.
bibilangin.
Okay.
Bilangin manually.
Kasi babasahin ko lang yung itong part tungkol dun sa mamayang makikita nating demo. Do I understand correctly, General, na yung Section 31 mismo yung magbibigay ng parang justification dito sa hybrid election system? Kasi minention dito na yung buong proseso, makikita niyo mamaya, boboto po ako. It takes less than 3 seconds for the computer to read the votes in a ballot. Add these ballots to a running tally until the last ballot is scanned. It would take a computer only 25 minutes to count the votes of 500 ballots in the barangay SK election as against 4 hours it will take if you will manually count it.
May nagkaroon kami ng konting time and motion study dyan. Yung, actually, ang ginawa lang is pindot lang ng pindot, no? Kasi lumalabas naman sa kwan. But of course, ideal situation yan kasi mostly may mag-raise ng hand yung mga poll watchers. That will delay the process, no? Pero at least manual siya. I mean, kita ng publiko how their votes are being counted.
Yep. So, tapusin ko lang dito. So, the counting will not only be accurate but very transparent as each poll watcher and the watchdog can take a screenshot.
Pipicturean nila
yung nandun sa or video record how the votes were counted and tallied. Di ba? Okay.
At a later time.
At the later time.
Siguro at this point, pakita natin yung demo.
Excited na ako bumoto.
Oo, ako rin.
So, yan,
shade na ako ng ballot po.
So, ito na po yung yung demo ng hybrid election system.
It only needs 3 equipment that are easily available in the open market, off the shelf, no? Ordinary laptop. Levino yan, ordinary printer, and document scanner, no? Ma-order mo ito in fact sa Lazada.
Online.
Online. Okay. We are we made here some test ballots. Actually, it is designed for the barangay and SK election this coming November, because we have we have petitioned or requested COMELEC that if they can have this piloted in this coming November barangay SK election, no? And in fact, there is now also a congressional resolution authored by former Congresswoman Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, urging COMELEC to have this tested. No? So it's quite easy. All our voters already know how to shade, no? And both sides. This one is for the SK election, and this one is for the barangay. No? So, when the voter has finished shading, he or she goes to this private document scanner. Now, only, you can notice that only he or she can see. No?
Okay.
And then,
Screen at suriin ang iyong mga napiling kandidato.
you'll notice,
Pindutin ang berde para kumpirmahin.
yes, you notice that this one is analyzed by the software, the computer, and already listed are the candidates that you have chosen for the SK election. No? So if this is okay, I press green. I press green.
Kung mayroong kasunod na pahina, isunod o baliktad.
Okay, balik ta rin.
Kung tama ang iyong mga pinagpipilian,
You'll notice that even if the ballot is inverted, it will still read, so does not matter, no? So again, what is written here is read by the software as this, and these are the names that I voted, and it's okay. Then I press the button again. Now both SK and barangay now appears, no? In this is now sort of a verified paper. So if it's okay, I press green
maaari mo na
Oh.
so that the receipt will.
ilagay ang resibo sa itinalaga.
So I put this in the designated ballot box official, and I put this in a receptacle that is reserved for VVPATs. No?
Okay.
But even doing that, I can
Check.
yes, you can check this your own later, that what appears here.
Is the one you voted for.
Tapos, sir, after that, lalagay ko na dito. Tama ba?
No, after the voting, everybody has voted.
Okay.
So, may queue na yan, no? And everybody has voted. This one will go to this, and this one to another box.
Okay.
This cannot be brought out. No?
Okay.
And, well, that's it. Kung pan lang, it took only around 5 seconds, kung hindi na ako nag-i-explain, no?
Mabilis.
And then the printout. So,
Tapos may mga voice prompts naman, sir, no?
and my voice prompt ng Tagalog.
Tumingin sa screen at suriin ang iyong mga napiling kandidato. Pindutin ang berde para kumpirmahin. Pindut kung mayroong kasunod.
How you can correct if you have overvoted, because in the last election, 2025, and in previous election, overvotes runs to millions of voters.
Wow.
No? 2025, 1.8 million overvotes. That's why there is now it is being complained by the losing candidates, no? Because 1.8 million means that around 70 million senatorial candidates were not included. At sa 1 to 12 lang yun, no? Dito, you have to check kung nag-overvote ka, and if you press the red, of course, so that the queue will not be hindered, alis ka muna, and then make your correction receipt, balik na naman sa queue.
Okay.
No? So you go back to your seat para ma-nullify mo ito kung ito yung ayaw mo. I-shadan mo yung number itself. Pag nakita ito ng computer na may dalawang ganyan, nullified na ito.
Okay.
So, that could swing it,
So,
yes, actually.
Do not press the green.
Oo.
Pag sinasabi sa'yo overvote, press the red.
Okay.
And isa pa, since the cost of this equipment is very, very small percentage of what Smartmatic cost, no? 150,000 yung binili natin na Smartmatic
Per machine.
per machine. Miro, we rented it at around 72. 74,000 yata per machine. And after election, discarded. So we paid around billions of pesos for that use lang.
Oh,
No?
one-time use.
And after election, wala nang gamit ang Smartmatic Miro. But this time, after election, this can go to the school.
Okay.
No? Kasi kasama dito as accounting, which will see later, dun sa manual count, there is a big large screen TV where the poll watchers can see as its ballot na galing sa ballot box is being scanned by the teacher, no? And that is included in the price. Still cheaper, no? And even that can be used by the school.
Hi, this is Jing Garcia of TechSabado.com and of course, the Manila Times. Like, share, and subscribe our social media assets on Facebook and YouTube.
Raymund Tribdino of the Manila Times and CleanTechnica.com. Like, follow, subscribe Tech Sabado on YouTube and Facebook.
Hello, I'm Melvin Calimag of Newsbytes.ph. Please like, subscribe, and share Tech Sabado on Facebook and YouTube.